So this week is a really busy week. I'm just talking about technical stuff and what it's going to be like at Tech Week, which we leave for in the morning, which we're leaving super early. But yeah, so Monday we talked about, like, in the morning about our site visit and how it went and our thoughts on it, and what we liked about the site, what we didn't like about the site, and what we'd like in our own personal sites, because site placement's coming up soon. Yeah. Yeah. And I also had a meeting with our program manager, her name is Karina, about like my preferences, and we like filled out the sheet about it and talked about it, and like what I want in a site, what I don't want, type of stuff. And then my only stipulations is that I don't want a hiking site, just because I'm not comfortable with it, / not good at it, / don't want to. But it's really kind of my only thing. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. We also talked about diseases that you can get from waterborne illnesses / improper usage of your water and all the other various aspects, and talked about sources and tomas and different types of tomas that you can build, and how you choose a water source and things like that. Pretty tech heavy Monday. Tuesday we started back with our Spanish classes, and then had more tech stuff in the afternoon, talking about latrines and how to like collect data on your aqueduct and such. So the whatchamacallit thing about, or like non-work related thing about Tuesday, it was like all day my left eye was like a little bit blurrier than my right eye, which is weird because I have the same vision in both eyes, albeit terrible, but this is with my contacts in. And so I was like, you know what, when I get home tonight, I'll just take out my contacts, because obviously like they just need to, I need a new pair or something. As soon as I took out my left contact, it was just like instantaneous pain. It hurt so bad, like I was dying, I was crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. And like my host mom's like, what's wrong? Like, and I'm just like, but she's asking me in Spanish, and like I was like frustrated, so I'm like not able to answer, and I'm just like, leave me alone, like, but I can't say it in Spanish because I don't know how, so I don't want to be rude, and so I was struggling. But yeah, so just like all night, just like hurt so bad, got to the point where like I couldn't even open my left or my right eye because it was like putting too much strain on my left eye. It's like super red. Like there's a epidemic of pink eye here in the country, so then like my host was like, oh, you've got pink eye, and I'm like, oh great. But so I was able to talk to PCMO, which is Peace Corps Medical Officer, after talking to my mom, and she kind of calmed me down a little bit, got me to think a little more clearly. But talked to them. They were like, hey, can you get your host family to take you to the pharmacy and get this antibiotic? I'm like, sure. So they took me, we got the antibiotics, felt a little bit better, but really I just like went to bed, didn't even eat dinner. I was just like in so much pain, like it just hurt so bad that I was just like, I'm going to bed. Because like obviously it was later at night, eye doctors aren't open, type of a thing, and they were like, we can get you an appointment tomorrow, but we can't get you one today. I'm like, okay. So woke up the next morning, or woke up about the middle of the night, and I could open my eyes, which is good. They were really crusty, but I could open my eyes, and I wasn't in pain. It was still pretty red, it was kind of swollen, but wasn't in pain, which is good. And yeah, so I didn't go to class all day just because they were worried about it being pink eye, so they were like, don't go to to class. I was like, okay. So I didn't, and just kind of like rested and hung out till my appointment, which was at 3 in the city. So the driver they sent to pick me up went to the wrong community, because there's 2 training communities, one for SAS, one for WASH, and he went to the one for SAS. So he calls me, he's like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm in my house, but it's near like the church in the Centro de Salud. And he was like, well, I'm here. And I'm like, well, I don't see a car. And he's like, you're in Santa Rita, right? I'm like, no, I'm in Santa Clara. And he's like, oh, I'll be there shortly. So I drove here, then we went to the city, had my appointment. I have something called chalazion, which means an inflammation of my eyelid. So I have to take this antibiotics and put this ointment on my eye for like a week to get rid of it. We're supposed to be going to Tech Week next week, so I was like, is it okay that I go? Like, type of thing. She was like, yeah, it's fine. So yeah, that was my Tuesday and Wednesday. So I missed out on those sessions and everything because, yeah, it's crazy. But Thursday I went back to class. Everybody was concerned, like, how are you? Like, I'm fine now. Like, I'm not dying as bad, but yeah. And had language class, and then we talked about like aqueduct system stuff, like really technical stuff, and then also talked about so we're giving a charla next week for the school in the community we're visiting for Tech Week. So we broke out into our groups, and each group has to prepare a charla. We're doing a charla on how to use a latrine and why you should. So we had time to prepare that and talked about like the details of Tech Week and how we're gonna get there, and about how we have to get on the bus at 4:30 a.m. to get there. Yeah. And then Friday, we had our language interviews in the morning, which we also had to get up at 4:30 a.m. to get there. And we got there at 5:30. The doors don't even open to the building until 6, and then we weren't starting anything until 8. I was an unhappy camper at this moment. So, yeah, it's crazy. I was like, this is real life. And yes, it was. But yeah. So we had our language interview. I think it went well. I won't find out for another like week and a half-ish or so when we go back to the office. But yeah, we had that in the morning, and it's kind of like random stuff. Everybody had to do language interviews, and so they didn't have a lot like scheduled for the morning, so we weren't missing stuff. Then we got our assignment, where before we do our site visit and our community guides and the thing, we have to do a presentation as a group about our role of a PCV, which is the 6 different roles and stuff. And then in the afternoon, we went to this like, it was an indigenous arts festival type of a thing, talking about the arts of the indigenous people of Panama in the Comarcas, and it's really cool, like hearing from different people, because it's kind of like a panel of people talking about their various art forms and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Then we came back here. Sorry, tired. Today's Saturday, so I went to the mall, picked up some stuff for my trip, like boots and snacks and everything, and packed up all my stuff. Not sure I'm carrying it all because it's a lot of stuff, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, so did that, just kind of relaxing before I have to go to Tech Week, because next week spend all week building stuff in the community of one of the volunteers, and it'll be interesting to see how it all goes. this week was good, minus the whole eye thing. My eye's getting much better. It's not swollen. I don't like the ointment. But I did learn 2 new words. Unguento means ointment, and gotas means eye drops. So, nothing else. Learned something new. And I felt pretty proud of myself because, so went to the eye doctor. It's totally in Spanish, including the eye test, which, gotta remember all the letters in Spanish. And had to explain all of my problem in Spanish and, like, understand what she said. And, yeah, so I was pretty proud of myself because I survived that. And I think everything went pretty well. But, yeah, it was an interesting week. Also, we had another girls' meeting, talked about the week. One of the girls in our group may have dengue. If you don't know, it's a mosquito-borne disease, and it's pretty tragic. There are 4 types. If you get one, you're immune from that, but you're more susceptible to the other 3. And each one you go up more and more, like, you're more immune to more groups, but you're more susceptible, which also leads to, like, more complications. So it's not good if you have dengue. And if she has dengue, then she can't go to tech leave, which is not good. So she's going Monday to get tested. But yeah, so these are the real life problems we have here in Panama. It's really fun. Yeah.